Hello, I'm David. Welcome to our channel.
Hello, I'm Sophia too.
Okay, so today we're diving into a film that probably faced more pressure than almost any horror reboot lately. We're talking David Bruckner's 2022 Hellraiser.
Yeah, I mean, when you're tackling something built on Clive Barker's foundation, that whole unique, dark vision, it kind of changed horror. The bar isn't just high, it's intense.
It really is. So our deep dive today, we're going to focus purely on the execution. Let's park the plot details for now and really dig into the technical side, the direction, the acting.
Exactly. What made this film work, especially considering, how it was released.
Right. That release strategy is definitely worth mentioning up front. The 2022 film, it went straight to Hulu, which, is owned by Disney.
And it felt like such a theatrical movie. It had that scale, that budget, kind of like Prey did before it. You watched it and thought, this belongs on a big screen.
Totally. It almost feels like a bit of a shame, distribution-wise, because the craft is there.
Oh, absolutely. When you look at the design, the atmosphere, you just know some of that impact gets lost on a smaller screen. But the team, David Bruckner leading them, they delivered something pretty special.
And Bruckner's track record kind of set that expectation, didn't it?
It did. Let's unpack that a bit, because his style is key here.
If you think about The Ritual, that was all about like male anxiety turning into this monster in the woods.
And The Night House. Wow. That film explored grief and trauma through like the house itself being unstable. Really clever.
And this Hellraiser feels like the next step, combining those things. Human suffering, anxiety, made real.
Yeah, and the Cenobites are sort of the ultimate embodiment of that, right? That brokenness made manifest.
You see it right away in the sets, too. That architectural instability we saw in the Night House, it's dialed up here.
Oh, the production design is genuinely incredible. Those shifting corridors, walls moving.
It's not just spooky effects. It feels tied to the puzzle box itself, the Lament Configuration, how it reshapes reality.
And that's where the technical skill comes in. What I found really interesting was the blend of CG and practical stuff.
Right. So much of that complex set movement, the traps unfolding, it looked practical, like they were actually doing it in camera.
Very much like the Night House managed with its shifting spaces. That practical feel, it just grounds the impossible stuff a little bit more, makes it feel heavier.
Yeah, it does. But, okay, this is where an interesting critique popped up, because you can absolutely tell this wasn't some cheap cash grab. The team clearly cared a lot.
Definitely. You feel the respect for the material.
But some moments felt maybe surprisingly simple in their direction.
Yeah, that's the specific point, isn't it? When people said basic coverage, they meant like sometimes the camera work, the framing, it was just functional, pointed at the action.
Which felt a little weird maybe given how ambitious the rest of the visuals were, especially with the budget it clearly had.
It's a slight inconsistency, perhaps, but honestly the performances, especially the leads, they really carried that vision through.
Okay, yeah, let's pivot to the actors. We have to talk about Jamie Clayton as the new Hell Priest, or Pinhead, as many know the character.
Stepping into that role, I mean, talk about pressure, but she was damn good. Really, really fantastic.
She has this quiet presence that's just incredibly menacing. It's very different.
It is. The original Pinhead had this almost theatrical, grand quality. Clayton's priest is colder, surgical.
It's chillingly calm, like this bureaucratic authority over pain.
Yeah. And apparently, she talked about this in a Q&A, how she struggled to find meaty roles and took this one incredibly seriously. It really dove deep.
You see that intensity on screen. It's not mimicry at all. It's a completely new, very intimidating presence. Less a showman, more like an inevitability.
That weight she brings is so important because the film really hinges on its lead, Odessa A'zion as Riley.
And A'zion had a totally different challenge, right? Playing someone who is, well, deliberately not very likable.
Exactly. She's really good in the role, but Riley is flawed from the start. A recovering addict, steals the box with her boyfriend from rehab. She's already in a spiral.
Which loops right back to Clive Barker's whole thing, doesn't it? His stories are often full of these very broken characters, people wrestling with their own issues long before the supernatural horror even shows up.
That's kind of the thematic heart of Hellraiser, I think. Riley's addiction, her chasing that next fix, willing to hurt others. It mirrors the pursuit of sensation the box represents.
Yeah, she's chasing something. And the Cenobites are like the ultimate suppliers of extreme experience.
It stops it being just a simple good versus evil story.
Yeah.
You're watching her make choices, and you're constantly wondering how much of this is her own doing.
Even trying to find her brother, who vanished because of the box, it's all tangled up with her own needs and mistakes.
Now, while Clayton and A'zion were really strong, I'd say the supporting cast felt a bit thinner.
Yeah, their characters weren't quite as developed. They mostly served Riley's story, or became.
Cenobite victims, yeah. Unfortunate, but kind of expected in these films sometimes.
True. But, that said, the way the story wraps up in the third act is quite clever.
Oh, yeah. How so?
It doesn't just tie up the plot. It actually makes you rethink some of those earlier scenes, even the ones with the weaker supporting characters. It adds a layer retrospectively.
Ah, okay. So it pulls it together nicely in the end. Adds a bit of intellectual punch to the physical punch.
Exactly. And speaking of sensory stuff, let's talk sound. The sound design and score are crucial here.
Oh, definitely. Ben Lovett's score is really good. It creates this deep, pervasive sense of unease.
And what's great is how it nods to the original without just copying it.
Right. It manages to weave in elements of Christopher Young's classic themes, those screeching strings, the heavy brass, but it uses them in new ways, so it feels like Hellraiser, but also fresh and unsettling.
That unsettling vibe is probably the film's biggest win, tonally. It is gory, no question.
Pre-gory, yeah. But it doesn't feel cheap or, just for shock value in the way some slashers can.
Because it's focused on violation, right? Transformation. The horror comes from the body being twisted and reshaped in these really intimate, awful ways.
Exactly. It's that surgical body horror element that makes it disturbing. Some people actually wished it had gone even darker, even gorier for a Hellraiser film.
I can see that argument. But what we got was this sustained dread. It successfully avoids just relying on, cheap jump scares.
Which is refreshing. And central to that dread, obviously, are the Cenobites themselves.
Yeah.
The redesign is a major talking point.
Oh, yeah. We have to discuss the look. Because the classic leather is, it isn't really involved anymore.
Right. That whole industrial S&M aesthetic is gone.
Instead, the new look is organic.
It is. It looks like they've taken their own flesh, their skin, and turned it into their clothing, their adornments. It's an inversion.
Instead of leather as a tool for dominance, their own bodies are the statement. It's a testament to that whole pain is pleasure experience above all philosophy.
It makes their connection to sensation seem entirely internal, self-inflicted almost. It's genuinely creepy.
It really is. It swaps that structured, almost ritualistic look of the originals for something way more visceral and, like self-mutilation raised to an art form.
It's not about wielding power over others through external things. It's like they've become this state of constant transformed sensation.
Which fits the themes really well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
They're not just torturers. They're like these philosophers of the flesh who've paid the price.
Exactly. So when you put it all together, Bruckner's careful handling of the horror, Jamie Clayton's incredible performance, the smart redesigns.
You can just feel that the team really, really gave a damn. This wasn't just dusting off an old IP. They were trying to push it somewhere new.
And I think they largely succeeded. It's a highly recommendable horror film, especially if you appreciate the craft. Stands up well.
Absolutely. 2022 was a pretty great year for horror, and this was definitely one of the highlights.
So maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on.
Go for it.
How does that new Cenobite design focusing on their own flesh as the expression of their state rather than external things like leather, how does that maybe deepen or change the whole idea of what ultimate transformative pain and sensation means in this universe?
Moving from external control to internal realization. Interesting. Definitely something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay, stay tuned for our next video. So in order not to miss our next video, subscribe to our channel and ring the bell next to it to be notified of our next video. And if you liked our program today, like the video.
Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye.
Thank you so much for joining us, and goodbye.